Now, experts say that emotional intelligence fuels your performance both in the workplace and in your personal life, but it starts with you. Now, from confidence, empathy, and optimism to your social skills and self-control to understanding and managing your own emotions and more, all of these can accelerate success in all areas of your life.
Now, no matter what professional field you might be in, whether you manage a team of 2 or 20 or even just yourself, realizing how effective you are at controlling your own emotional energy is a great starting point. Now, our guest today is Abiola Champ Salami. He is an author, public speaker, coach, and world-class performance strategist. Abiola Champ Salami, good morning to you. Welcome to Breakfast Central. Now,
Good morning, Olisa. Good morning, Oluchi. Thank you for having me.
All right, bright and early start for you. Let's start from understanding what emotional intelligence and also why you chose to write a book on emotional intelligence. You know, what do they call it again? The EQ equation, as they say.
Okay, thank you for that question. Great question, by the way. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is simply the capacity of you and I, every individual, to understand our emotions and to use our understanding of our emotions to manage our emotions and also to manage the emotions of other people, but first by understanding their emotion and then managing their emotion to build effective, rewarding relationship. It is the capacity of every one of us that we need to develop, you know, to be able to understand what are the triggers of our emotions. You know, you just find yourself getting angry, having fears, fear of pursuing your goals, fear of even talking to that lady that you've always been dreaming of getting married to. I mean, what are those triggers for that fear of yours? And then understanding those triggers, how do you properly manage them? On the other hand, how do you understand other people? And then how do you build effective relationships with them? The second part of your question, ask, why did I write the book? I wrote the book because emotions are powerful. I wrote the book because a lot of people need to learn emotional intelligence. We need to acquire that skill, you know, so that we can become more effective both in our personal lives, you know, and in our professional lives as well. Every now and then we have tasks, we have goals that we need to attain. We have tasks that has been outlined for us by our organizations or those who are entrepreneurs. You have goals that you want to achieve. In the new year, for example, you're already thinking of what you want to achieve. And to help you to achieve those goals is to understand how to manage your own emotions and how to manage the emotions of other people. So it's a very important skill that everybody needs to acquire. Emotions affect our decisions. Emotions affect almost everything that we do. So to help people to become conscious and ensure that their emotions is not stopping them from achieving their goals, that is why this book was written.
Well. All right. Wow. Abiola, I'm still caught on that line where you said some men find it difficult to talk or approach a lady of their choice.
It's not just a man thing. Abiola, we are Africans, you know. We'll say we can be emotional, but on an African context, we don't really always talk about our emotions. In fact, when it comes to emotions, it's almost like a sidebar. So perhaps it explains why we have to really focus on this topic, emotion, because from an African context, Abiola, you can admit we shy away, don't we? And we're always emotional, just like you said, anger, fear, disbelief, shouting, irate, kilo share, that kind of thing.
We have all of those things. and you know, we talk about gender-based violence, and you realize that it is deeply rooted in emotional intelligence. You know, a man that doesn't understand how to manage his own emotions and control, understand his triggers and control his emotions, you know, may just let out his emotions violently. A lady that doesn't understand how to manage her emotions as well, you know, could just say whatever she wasn't supposed to say, you know, at a particular time that could trigger a behavior in the other person. You know, so, and for us generally as Africans, in fact, what we say to men is man up. You know, whatever it is you are going through, man up. But every human being is a human being, man or woman, and we all have emotions, and it's important that we understand the triggers of our emotions and manage them effectively to always put our best foot forward.
Abiola, now this sounds very interesting. I mean, looking at or listening to all that you have said, it looks like something that will add value to organizations, be it in the private or even the public sector. Can you speak more on this?
Okay. One of the skills in emotional intelligence is empathy. Empathy says, seek first to understand before you are understood. As a business organization, it is important to understand your prospect and your customers before you just design a product and let it out like that because you want people to buy. It begins with seeking to understand your customers, to understand why do they buy. You know, what this particular segment of your market, you know, how do they respond to price change if you want to change your price? How do they respond to change and fashion that's changing the look and feel of your product? And there are times that the content doesn't change, but the packaging changes. And how do people respond to it when they get it? For even in the same organizations, as a leader in that organization, leading your team effectively, empathy is key. A lot of people complain about their bosses. They say that I have a very terrible boss. And whereas the boss may not be terrible, the boss may be demanding. And because the individual doesn't understand that this boss is just demanding, and if I fix what the boss wants me to fix when he or she wants me to fix it, there's a high chance that I won't have issues and I'll be more effective and I will continue to grow in my career. So empathy is a key skill in emotional intelligence that can help organizations, both public sector and in the private sector, to continue to record and profit after profit.
All right, Abiola. As I listen and watch you speak about emotional intelligence, it's a great tool you've designed here. Now, how can this emotional intelligence really help us curb social issues in Africa? Even Nigeria, there is poverty, ethnic rivalry, gender issues, And I look at the emotions that we have as human beings. I remember a movie I watched a couple of years ago, Inside Out. It talked about emotions of anger, fear, disgust, what's the other one again? Joy, and they were represented by colors. So how do we use this tool? Because it's something that we can't run away from every day emotionally.
Great question, especially for us in Africa. You realize that some of the issues we have stem from the fact that people don't understand each other. Stem from the fact that we have biases and prejudices. So somebody from culture A doesn't trust culture B and thinks that the person from culture B is about to hurt the person from culture A, whereas it's not always like that. So emotional intelligence helps us to even begin by understanding ourselves better, help us to manage our biases and prejudices. And from biases and prejudices stem a lot of social issues. From biases and prejudices stems gender issues, because almost some men think women are this way, women think men are this way, and that biases and prejudices can continue to cause conflict and gender issues. That is on one part. On the other part, speaking of poverty, why are we poor? Because a lot of people are not gainfully employed. And because a lot of people also don't have good self-esteem for them to put their best foot forward to start to create solutions for themselves. So this book helps people to understand themselves, to unleash their creativity so that they can start to create solutions and to put in the marketplace for them to gain some money, for them to leave the poverty state that they are in to becoming a better people for Africa. So it's a great tool for Africa. It's a great tool for self-awareness, for self-esteem, to develop courage and confidence, to develop the creativity of all Africans so that we can start to add solutions. Over the past few months, there's been vaccines coming into the continent from different parts of the world. Wow. Why can't we create ours? One of the major reasons we can't create ours is that people are not confident enough. When you see a white man and a black person, the moment the white person walks into a room of all black people, there's this feeling that, a superior person has come in. And it talks about low self-esteem and low self-confidence, whereas this gentleman may not have as much intelligence.
Wow, Abiola. I wish we had all the time to just keep you on the program. You have so much to unpack and unleash to us. But thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you,
Abiola Champ-Salami, author of the book. Congratulations on the launch of your book, by the way.
Thank you very much.
All right, Abiola, thank you so much for that one. Well, emotional intelligence, something to look out for.